perfect timing on LCS finals because my sister's wedding is this upcoming weekend. So regardless win or lose, I was just happy that I didn't have to miss any of this for a family wedding. Although I am going to be missing the next championship parade, so give or take. But hey, fun weekend, right?
Something that I gotta do with both on.
Well, talk about a bittersweet weekend. Let's start off with the positives, which luckily is also in sequential order for the weekend. Boy, did we beat the shit out of C9, which felt really good, especially after they booed the crap out of us when we walked on stage. Let's be very clear. This weekend was Cloud9 favored in terms of the audience by a wide margin. It was not even close. And obviously, we go on to beat them. We face Lyon, where we then have the home crowd advantage against Lyon because Lyon has inspired, but also just isn't naturally an organization that has like a ton of like US specific fans. So makes sense that we're second. But I know there's going to be a lot of people that kind of write that off. I don't want to. That annoyed the shit out of me and pissed me off. As it should. Like, that should motivate you. If our boardroom, if our executives are not looking at that saying, really, we got booed at an LCS finals event? What do we need to do to change that? We need to build some goddamn fandom so that never happens again. Now, I know C9 fans will outnumber us for probably a longer period of time. This won't be the only event that happens. And honestly, I'm glad that they booed us. Thank freaking God. I hope it lights a fire under somebody in this org's ass to try and change that as soon as humanly possible. Because, oh man, was I pissed. Internally, try not to show it too much outside, but here I can let it out and say it. That series, though, could have definitely been an email. Like, we just demolished C9 from draft to gameplay, you name it. There was not one moment in that series where you really felt confident that C9 was going to be able to do anything of significance at all. Quid had APA's number that entire series, was playing on MVP Quid form. Our bot lane was getting ahead. Sven went the entire series without getting a kill. Like, that felt great. Qualifying for MSI felt good, but I can't dwell on that too much because obviously that's one day out of the two. Unfortunately, that level of excitement and hype would not carry over into Sunday, where we got utterly destroyed by Lyon the entire series. I mean, I think the best way to summarize this all is Game 1, there were moments. It felt like it could be optimistic. Game 2, the draft didn't do us any favors, but Quid also didn't have his best series. And then Game 3, we had this draft with Zyra Rakan, with Victor, that we just need to make sure we get to the team fight portion, and we should be fine. And lane by lane by lane, we just got stuffed. Quid dies in mid lane solo. Then the bot lane dies as Berserker's getting ahead on Yon. And then Morgan dies in the top side to a gank. It's like everything cascaded, and it was sequential for Lyon, and it just worked incredibly well for them. Whether that was nerves on our part or whether that was Lyon being fully better on the day, it's mostly them fully being better, but I'm willing to attest nerves because we did not play like we did the day prior. And yes, Lyon made it more difficult for us, but we didn't even, like, it just wasn't there. Jose Diego was the only one that really felt like when he had moments that he could try and pull through, he did. I mean, I have to show you the highlight from Game 2. This is the highlight of the entire weekend.
Or ulti to do it. There's no way they let him walk up and get in there.
Nope, they're just waiting on it. Dredge line into the firepower over the wall from Berserker. Isles just trying to keep Jose locked up.
Go back in!
Baron's gonna be taken low! Jose Diogo, the hero of the day, jumps into the pit. He gets past the bodyguard, and he steals the Baron. Dokla punished in the side lane as well. Jose finally falls, but he'll be buried with honors.
It was the loudest crowd pop of the entire weekend. For a moment, you thought we might be able to get back in it, but then we almost immediately lost shortly after. And it was like, oh, no, nope, this ain't going to be for us. Got it. So how do you conclude this split? Like, what is the takeaway from finishing second? It's obviously not fourth. You make the international event. You don't make EWC because you don't win. I would overall say this was a success. Like, in my opinion, Lyon came into this split and was the favorite to win it all, and they have done nothing but level up at that point. We saw a kind of regression. I don't know if regression is the right term. We stayed stagnant for the most part of the year until the end when it really picked up. But then when Lyon exposed us, it went bad. The question becomes, one, MSI, will we stand a chance? I'll touch on that here in a second. But two, come summer, where does that leave expectations? Like, where does this leave as the launch point for the next split? And there's glimpses of us looking incredible. But I don't think our drafts this entire split did us any favors at all, other than the C9 series. That was the one time where I felt like the drafts were very cohesive. FlyQuest a little bit as well, but it reverted back in the Lyon series. It seems like our strongest identity that we found was playing through Quid and Jose Dioto while allowing Botside to just be what it is. And unfortunately, it's a little bit worrisome whenever it seems like Lyon can really stuff us and shut us down, and Quid it's coin flip at points. But I do think it is a formula that if we can get consistent with, we'll be fine. I really do. We have to level up pretty substantially to be able to take home that title in summer, but at a minimum, I like our progression to the point where we can continue to grow. Jose Dioto, man, very quickly becoming the face of this entire team, both in terms of personality, but also just play style as well. He's Mr. Consistent, but Mr. Consistent in an entertaining way. And you can't ask for much more than that. Outside of my reaction, I did want to take a look at the community sentiment that is around, and notably from the Team Liquid Reddit after the series was done. And there's a lot of people that are unhappy. And I get it, by all means, we didn't win. Sucks to lose to Lyon, who are now back-to-back champions, but I do think the community is overreacting quite a good bit to this. There's a massive conversation ongoing on whether Spawn is an effective coach or not if we can't get over that hurdle. If you can't clear the gap, if you can't solidify what you need to do to be able to take it all home, if second is your ceiling, will you ever be that guy? And look, I can't discount a part of that argument because that's exactly what happened with the Knicks last year, and we just went on to win the NBA title. So I understand that philosophy. In my opinion, I don't think it's Spawn. Personally, I don't. I think when you are seeing Quid and the bot lane and top lane lose lane in very weird ways in games, yes, you can make the argument that coaching is not elevating them to that moment and that some sort of different system or something needs to be put in place to try and reinvigorate these guys. But I just think it's the nature of the players that it's just going to take a little bit more time to figure this out with them. Morgan looks notably better than he did in winter. Winter to spring, Quid also a lot better towards the end. Everybody kind of leveled up a bit, which you have to give some credit to coaching staff, but expectations are so high that I get it. I just don't believe that there's going to be a better coach out there for this team, to be completely honest with you. Yes, there are other coaches available, but outside of Thinkard, who I regard very highly within the space, there's nobody that I personally want to see come in. And I like Spawn's philosophy in terms of how he sees locker room culture. I like his speeches and beyond. I'm still in on him for now. I really am. And I think have we missed Worlds, maybe we have that conversation. But the fact that we demolished C9, we did correct our woes against FlyQuest. I think coaching staff is fine for now. I will acknowledge, though, that I am also new around here. Okay, so the multiple years of not having titles and similar rosters crumbling like this is not an experience I have, so the emotional resonance there is going to be slightly different. What I will say, to transition this into MSI slightly, is that my biggest test is going to be what are the conversations around us coming out of MSI? Because in case you don't know, our first series is against T1. And then we'll likely face, assuming K-Corp wins against the second seed from the LCP, we will likely face them, and then we'll play K-Corp, and then T1 again. That'll be the exact order to get out of play-in stage. Will we be able to get out? The reality is probably not. Statistically, you're going to answer no. However, if you don't go into this with the faith that we can pull off the upset, what are you doing here? Where's your faith? What are we doing? In Spawn's words, he's never lost to Europe. So take that for what you will. Look, if we can have a series where we even somewhat contest T1, which I know is a hard ask given that obviously we didn't look great against Lyon. This is the part where reality comes crashing down for many North American fans and teams. It is I try and get you excited for something that I know you have no reason as of right now to get fully hyped for. All I'm saying is bigger miracles have happened. And when our players get hot, they get really hot. So all you can ask is that on the day they show up and we have a respectable showing and we just don't get our teeth kicked in. And the biggest thing, to me, what will be a failure is if we lose to Europe or the LCP. Losing to either one of those two, yeah, it's a failure of an MSI. It is a failure on us as a team. It is an indictment of the region. Like, that's my barometer, okay? Where we go from there, I don't know. But for now, I feel very good about it. I like our matchups that we have upcoming. I'll address the specific matchups more in Good Morning North America as we get closer to the event. I want this to be more like the LCS wrap-up. So the final thing I really want to say is just this. To all the Team Liquid fans that were out there in Arizona, you did a great job. You cheered as loud as you could. The players gave us a pretty good split down the stretch. There were definitely some bumps along the way, but overall, definitely a net positive. Second place is nothing to scoff at all. Are we happy with it? No, we want first. There's progression that needs to happen, obviously. But my first split, fully, with the fandom, with the organization, I think this was a good baseline. I think this is exactly where I want things to be to start, which is why I'm going to be a little bit more content than most others would be. Where it goes from here, that's going to be more telling. And that's where a lot of the heavy lifting, especially during the time whenever players aren't playing or like before Summer Split, has to come in from the creators, from the org and beyond. Because again, I will end this the same way that I started it. I don't ever want to get in an arena where we are booed louder than we could boo somebody else. Period. I know we're going to get boos, especially from C9 fans. That's fine. The sole goal that comes out of this split for me is making sure we are never in a position where the second we get booed, we aren't responding louder and stronger. How we get there, I need to take a little bit of time to figure that out. But this is also going to be the last episode of Harbor until Summer Split. Everything around MSI will be included in Good Morning North America. I don't want to separate out just because I want that to be like the central hub of everything for North America. Yes, I promise I'll still touch on TL in the same way, but like I want that to be the focus, not just a TL specific thing, given how the tournament's probably going to go. But I hope you all had fun. I'll still be around. And thank you again for all your support throughout the split. It's been fun. I hope I haven't annoyed you too much, because we're only just getting started. We got a long way to go.